everybody, welcome back to another unboxing video. Really excited about this one because yes, I bought myself an airbrush kit. It's something that I've wanted for my model railroad ever since I was a young model railroader. I finally got around to purchasing one for myself. And so I don't know much about airbrushes. I haven't used one since high school. I did do a little research before I bought this one. I think this is a good value and this might be good for a lot of you out there. So I'm going to leave a link to this particular kit in the show description below. But I'm not endorsing this kit necessarily. I don't know hardly anything about airbrushes and I haven't used one since high school. So I'm not endorsing this kit, but I'm going to explain to you as I'm going through it why I picked this one out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox it. All right. Of course, I got this from, as you can tell, Amazon. There are a number of places out there to buy airbrushes, and there are a bunch of airbrush kits, and it can be a little confusing. Come on. What to get, but this is what I got. This is big. Folks, I got a box. I got a box. And it's a beautiful box. Will you look at the box? Oh, it's a box. Come on. I love opening boxes. It's so fun. Come on. There we go. There we go. All right. What do we got in here? I think we're gonna need to bring the camera in closer. Okay, so we have airbrush accessories. We have the airbrush itself, and we have the compressor. All right, so I ended up going with the Paasche, I believe that's how it's pronounced, TS Talon Siphon Fed Airbrush Set. This set comes with a number of items within it. I think it's all going to be in here. Let's go ahead and open this up and take a look. Obviously you have bottles for paint, and this is going to be your cleaning kit to clean out your airbrush. Very important to keep them clean. Now the reason I went with a siphon fed airbrush as opposed to gravity fed is because I wanted the flexibility to hold more paint. I am going to be using this airbrush initially to paint my track, which I have a lot of track, so I need to have a lot of paint on hand. I'm also going to use it to paint clouds on my backdrops, so I want to have a lot of paint on hand, which is why I chose the siphon fed version. I also chose the dual action version versus a single action. Now some people say start with a single action if you are a new airbrusher. I kind of feel like I don't necessarily want to have to buy another airbrush again. So I'll take the time to learn how to use a dual action airbrush in order to save a little money in the long run. So here is the airbrush itself. Comes with a couple of bottles, and it also has this guy here. I don't know how well this is going to work compared to like a gravity fed airbrush. I mean, it is a little pot there that you can put smaller amounts of paint in, but I don't know if it still works as a siphon fed or if it works the way a gravity fed works. I know a gravity fed you can get kind of some finer details than a siphon fed necessarily can. But for my purposes, I think this will work fine. Nice metal airbrush, and yeah, I don't know what I should say about this. So there's a tube here. This comes with a couple of extra, or it comes with a couple of needles. I think I'm gonna get the numbers wrong. 0.7 and a 0.5. I also ordered a 0.2 so I can get extra fine work. Because I will eventually be using this to weather cars, and I want to be able to do all that fine work. Some tools there, and yeah, the Talon seems to be a very nice airbrush for the price. I'm not doing miniature painting or anything like that, so I don't need like ultra high end. I'm also not like, you know, I'm not a pro, I'm a beginner, so. All right, so this comes with a Paasche brand air compressor, which I think is nice. There's a number of airbrush kits available on Amazon that I think kind of use a, you know how there's like the knockoff Chinese version that looks just like the real thing, that maybe even is the real thing, they just put it in a different box. But this seems to be an actual Paasche air compressor. And it is not a small boy. This is a big boy. Looks cool though. I don't know anything about air compressors, so I can't tell you what any of this does, other than, you know, stores air under compression, so that when you use your airbrush, you've got compressed air to push through it. Some tools there, there's a gauge. This appears to be a pretty darn good airbrush set. And I paid what I feel is a pretty darn good price for everything overall. Airbrushes themselves individually can be, you know, $100 or more. Compressors individually can be a couple $100 or more, or $100 or more. I mean, you're looking at oftentimes sets being up in the $400 range. This is like half that. So I think from a value standpoint, I think that this is a good way to go for a beginner set for sure. Reviews of the Talon by Paasche seems to be that this is a pretty good airbrush for the price. And yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So I was looking for versatility. I wanted siphon fed because I wanted to be able to use the bottles. I wanted to be able to, you know, mix up some colors and store them in the bottles, and really be able to go to town on track work and backdrops and have a lot of paint for that. I also wanted the option to use a smaller amount of paint, much like a gravity fed would, for weathering and detail work and that kind of thing. I don't know. This appears to still be a siphon style, but just holds less paint. So I don't know. I don't know that I can expect gravity fed sort of results from the painting process when it comes to this, but we'll find out. We'll find out. We'll find out together, because I'll be doing weathering videos and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's it. Thanks so much for checking out this video. And again, I will be leaving a link in the description below where you can pick up one for yourself. Like I said, I think that for me personally, this seems like the best way to go for a model railroad, for a beginner. You get the versatility, you get a nice airbrush and a nice compressor for a nice price. Thanks again, everyone, and I'll see you in another video.